Hello guys, good afternoon. What was the last program? What was the last program? Is it done? This one? So what do we need exception handling?
To make the flow of execution normal without any interruption.
What?
Stop abnormal conditions.
I'm asking. But not practicing.
After abstract on their
After abstractions, how many concepts you have completed?
so typecasting and the where
Yesterday attended, no? Why do we need exception handling? See, if you are not getting, now please ask, what is the problem? See, simply I'm going and you are in behind, nothing will happen. Should practice. So that is basic, very basic. What is exception? Why do we need exception handling? See, I know you are from a different branch, okay, mechanical. But you need to make the effort, right? You need to make the effort. You should make the effort. You are from, if you might, you are from EC, or you are from civil, or you are from mechanical. Okay, you came to learn. You should make the effort. Otherwise, you don't get pakka 100%. You don't practice, you don't get. need exception handling? Huh? What is your name? Why do we need exception handling? We have test in Saturday. What you do? What do you need exception handling? Why do we need exception handling? Your engineer studying, right? Last year. Still studying. Hmm. Bro, it is not class, okay? Not college. Forget about college. See, simply I'm going and you guys are behind. What is exception handling? What do I need to do? Simple question. See, here, if you make the effort now, okay, you don't have to wait for another 6 months or 1 year after your course completion. See, I've seen people, I'm seeing people every day, okay, they have completed 20 past out. How many months? Hmm? 7, 8 months gone. Still they're, still they're looking for the job. See, if you're not taking it as a serious, it will be definitely problem for you. You should think now only if you want to get a job. Want to do a job or not? Or business? Job only, right? Then we need exception handling.
Enter the range exception so that profit is some simple. We use try and catch method to enter the exception. To enter the exceptions.
To enter the exception.
To handle the exception.
To handle the exception. Chanapa, unmute yourself. Chanapa, unmute. Chanapa, are you there? Or you have slept? Channappa. Gagandeep is left. Yeah. Allah. Kamala, can you unmute? Kamala. Kamala Mankud. Am I audible?
It
Yes,
was
sir.
Huh? Guys,
Yes,
am I
sir.
audible or not?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah. Kamala, can you please unmute yourself? Um, Unmute and explain. What is that? Unmute and explain what is the exception handling. Kamala. Yesterday we have covered basics now. Are you practicing or not? Arey. Okay. Chaitra VK. Chaitra BK.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you practicing
Yes, sir.
till now? What you have practiced?
No, sir. Last week I have practiced, sir.
Last week what?
Till typecasting.
Till typecasting you have learned, practiced.
One day I have left, sir. Some Wednesday or Monday I have not practiced.
You did not attend one class in typecasting.
No, sir. 16th or 17th, 16th or 17th I have not attended the class, sir.
Okay, fine. Yesterday you have attended, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain what is exception handling. Why do we require exception handling? What is checked exception type? What are unchecked exception types?
Exception handling is to raise the exception block. The flow will be normal, sir.
Once again,
If we handle the raised exception object, the flow will be normal. And checked exception are checked at the compile time itself, and unchecked type exceptions are checked at the runtime.
okay. Then what about typecasting? Explain about typecasting.
To convert the one data type to another data type by using typecasting, and it consists of two types like primitive and derived.
When do I get class cast exception?
What, sir?
When do I get class cast exception? What is the use of instance of operator? Chaitanyam has left. Yeah. Why do I need interface? What is interface? What is interface? Gagan, unmute yourself. Gagan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me what is the difference between abstraction and interface? What is abstraction basically now?
Abstraction is data hiding, sir. So the class declaration is in one class and in an abstract class, and the implementation is in the other class. So the implementation is hidden. When the implementation is hidden, it is known as abstraction.
If I don't have any abstract method, can I keep the class as abstract?
Yes, sir. In the abstract class method, there can be abstract method also and normal class methods also. Normal methods also.
Can I create the objective for abstract class?
Abstract class object can be created, sir.
Can I create the objective for abstract class?
For the object class, for the abstract class, objects can be created, yes, sir.
Possible, huh?
No, sir.
Abstract.
Can I create the objective for interface?
No, sir. Interface is a total abstraction. Only abstract class are present in the interface.
Can I create the objective for abstract, interface?
No, sir. We have to. Cannot be created.
Rakshit Kumar, unmute yourself. Rakshit Kumar Shetty. Ram Kumar,
Yes, sir.
yeah, what have you studied till now? What are the concepts you have practiced?
Actually, not practiced, but I know the topics. Not fully.
What are the concepts you know?
Uh, Syntax of Java, SIB,
Ah,
and static keyword, typecasting, and interface abstraction.
how many times SIP block will execute?
One time, from top to bottom.
What is constructor?
Uh, Second, we need a constructor for initialization of an object.
Ah,
The name should be same as class name.
ah. Then constructor can have the return type.
No, sir. The constructor is only a return type.
When does the constructor execute?
When we call the object,
What is default constructor?
default constructor is the super. I think super
What is default constructor?
super, sir.
What is the usage of super and this keyword?
So if we mention super, it's going to execute. Defaultly, it's going to take super class. Sorry, super constructor. If we not, if we particularly mention this, it will take this.
Salma Taj, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
What have you studied till now? What have you practiced? Concepts.
Starting with the Java operator, pre-increment operator, post-decrement operator,
Okay.
constructor.
Ah, then
This keyword, final keyword,
final keyword. Finally or final keyword.
final keyword.
Ah, so what is the default constructor? What is the default constructor? Salma Taj.
Like in default constructor,
Ah,
whenever there are no methods like a final super class,
no methods
it's taken by it is considered by itself.
considered by itself. What that means? What is exactly the default constructor? Okay, what is the use of final keyword? If I make a class as final, what happens? If I declare a class as final, what happens?
We can't change that. It will
Sorry.
be constant.
What? You cannot say static. What? See, I don't know what you guys do. See, how many of you are practicing? See, is this the performance? Is this the seriousness you are showing for this course? Shalini, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
What do we need default constructor? What is default constructor?
I don't remember, sir.
What?
I don't remember, sir.
How many concepts you have practiced till now?
Sir, beginning classes, increment, decrement,
Then
looping,
okay, then
conditions, and till constructors I have revised, sir.
then after that,
Only so much I've covered, sir, till now.
yeah, so much I have covered. What are those so much topics?
Until constructors, sir.
Yesterday, which topic has done?
Yesterday I did not attend, sir.
You did not attend, huh? Day before
No, sir.
yesterday?
Sir, seminar is going on, sir, in our college, so I could not attend, sir, like from 2-3
Okay.
days.
Till what date you have attended?
Last week I attended, sir.
Last week you have attended, huh?
Yeah.
Typecasting you attended. Final keyword you attended.
Yes, sir.
Wrapper
Final
class.
keyword I attended.
Final keyword attended or not?
Yes, sir. Final keyword I attended.
If I make the class as final, what happens?
Um, Sir, we can't extend it, sir. It remains the same.
If I if I make the method as final, what happens?
Method.
If I make the method as final, what happens?
Sir, it restricts the user.
What?
It restricts, sir. It will not allow for the changes.
Oh, I'm not able to hear you properly. What is that? If I
Sir,
make the method as final, what happens?
sir, it will restrict, sir. It will not allow to make changes.
It will not allow to what?
Make changes.
Make changes. In what? That means what specific word? Is that correct?
We cannot override it, sir.
We cannot able to override in the subclass. Then why do we need wrapper class? Shalini?
Sir,
Why do we need wrapper class?
To
sir,
convert primitive data objects.
Hold on,
sir,
Salman Taj.
to,
Continue, Shalini. What is wrapper
sir,
class?
to be primitive data types, to
Primitive
convert it
data type.
into, yes, sir.
Primitive. Go on. See, seriously, I'm telling. If you want to spend 1 or 2 years after your course, don't take it as serious. You have took better decision. You have took the better decision to join the course, but you are not getting the use of it. You want to spend after your BE or BTech 1 or 2 year. Don't take it as serious. See, do you think getting the job is very easy? Do you think that?
No, sir.
See, lot of competitions are there. Here, simply you are learning the concept. Okay, still lot need to be learned. Data structures you need to learn. Algorithms you need to learn. Logical coding you need to learn. So many things. Still you are learning the basics, concept. I know it will be somewhat difficult to manage the college and also course, but you should make the time. Make the time. Some of them are not even unmuting themselves and responding. Fine. This Saturday we'll be having the test 11 to 1. So whatever I cover in that only I'll be giving. Whatever I have covered in that only I'll be giving. We'll see the performance. Whoever are not doing well, they should attend in the class itself, offline class. That is mandatory. Now, yesterday we have started exception handling. Is that please unmute yourself? Nandish,
Yes, sir.
unmute yourself. Sorry, mute yourself.
Sir.
Mute. See here, main begin, try begin, exception. What kind of exception? Arithmetic exception. It is the unchecked exception. Now, immediately it is going to come to the catch block. Now, from catch, what is the type of the exception? You'll get that type. I'm not using ex.print stack trace. Simply, I'm trying to print the reference ex. From catch. Now, what is the type of the exception? Arithmetic exception divided by 0. We are not getting the line number. If you want to get the line number, where exactly it should happen, it has happened. You should go for print stack trace to get the details, in details. In this case, you are getting simply the class and what is the type of the exception. Class and type of the exception. Then you get end of main. Now, main begin, try begin, arithmetic exception. To handle this arithmetic exception, we don't have the corresponding catch block. What do we have is null pointer exception. We don't have the arithmetic exception. Flow is terminating abnormally because we are not handling it. There is no catch block with arithmetic exception. That is why. Now, in case of ex.getMessage, simply will get the type of the exception. From catch, what is the type? What exactly happened divided by 0? Type. In case of ex dot print stack trace, we'll get the details. Where, in which line number, in which method. Those will get. In case of simply ex, what will get? What is the class? What is the type? In case of message, simply will get type. Main begin, try begin, arithmetic exception, from catch, we'll get the details, catch end of main. And also we have the option, you can go for simply system.err. What this means, we'll get the same, okay, without this system.err also, with this system.err also. Standard error string, standard error string, system.err. System.in means standard input string. System.out means standard output string. System is the class. Okay. Input stream, output stream, error stream. What will get? Huh? What will get? Stack overflow. Now, that is the error. Error also we can able to handle. Exception also we can able to handle. Error also we can able to handle. Flow will be normal. Hmm? Out of memory error in the sense, cannot able to create the object with this size. In the heap memory, cannot able to create the object with this size. Out of memory error. Z1. Here, what is the output? With the details. What is the output? There is no exception here. There is no exception. Then catch won't be executing. 1, 2, end of main. Here? Huh? End of main. What happens? Error. Why error? Huh? I equal to 10 divided by 0 is what? Exception, huh? Exception. Ah. Then what happens? Forgot your name. What happens? Rachana. What happens? Arithmetic exception. Pakka. Hmm? See, to check whether it is arithmetic exception or not, we are going for runtime, right or not? That is unchecked. Whether syntactically this one is proper or not. Int I, where it got declared? In the try block. Right or not? That I am using in the catch block. Not possible. Int I is local to try. You want to use the I anywhere in the main method. That means if you want to use within the try block and after the try block, try catch block, declare it before the try block. Now from this point onwards, you can use anywhere. We know this already. Right or wrong? What happens? What happens? Compile time error. Right? Compile time error. Compile time error. Local variable. Int is the local variable of try block. We cannot use in the catch or this is also local to catch. This int is what? Local to catch. Within this catch context only you can use this int, not outside. Want to use the I in the try block also, in the catch block also, and after the catch block also. Before try itself, we can able to declare and initialize. Before try only declare, then you can use anywhere. Here what happens? What happens? Try begin, arithmetic exception, catch begin, once again, arithmetic exception. Flow is terminating. To handle this exception, there is no another try catch. That is why. That is why flow is terminating. See here, one exception is there. Here, are you keeping this within the try? Alright. Whatever is there here, exception type. For those exception type, I'm developing the catch class. Now here, if you want to handle this exception, you should keep within the try. Then you should develop the catch. Now circuit D is there. We are actually the Act 2. Exception. What you should do now, see, some of you are thinking that if I keep another arithmetic exception, it will handle. Okay, no. Compile time only will get error. Why? Because duplicate, right or wrong? Already one catch is there with the arithmetic exception. One more we cannot able to keep duplicate. So that is why what we can do is take this statement that right. Now it is handled. We can keep try catch in the try also. We can keep try catch in the catch also. That is what I'm doing here. What is the output? Ah. Hmm. Hmm? What is the output? Main begin, try begin, arithmetic exception. This much code won't execute. Straight away it is going to come to the catch exception. Then main begin.
Can keep all the statements in the catch.
I will get now. Main begin, try begin, arithmetic exception, EX, separation, more code, try and then what happens? Then what happens? Then what happens? Do we get this one or main int? Main int. Okay, why? Because inner try catch is there. In the inner try catch, I have kept this arithmetic exception that is handled by inner catch itself. Now, this catch not executing. Why? Because within the body of this try, not raised the exception, within the body of the inner try. So we have the inner catch. To get the input, we are using what? Scanner. Enter something, then whatever the element I have entered, that I am reading in the form of string. Okay. Then main begin, try begin, whatever I entered, if it is really a number, that will be converted to int. If it is not number, number format exception. Right or wrong? If it is not number, other than number, we'll get what? Number format exception. Is really a number. Okay. Separation. Here arithmetic exception. Close terminating. If it is really a number, here arithmetic exception. A is equal to I divided by 0. Arithmetic exception. Close terminating. In case of number format exception only, it is handling. In case of arithmetic exception, it is not going to handle. Why? Because there is no catch for the arithmetic exception. So develop that. For number format of exception also I'm developing. For arithmetic exception also I'm developing. Any type of exception it can able to handle. What type of exceptions? Number format exception and arithmetic exception. Both it can handle. No issues at all.
Should that be in order, sir?
What?
Should all the exceptions be in order, sir?
No.
Not required.
In any order you can give. And in any order you can keep a catch block. No issues.
Try another try. Only one try.
Only one try. Okay. For one try you can keep any number of catches, but should be unique. It should not be duplicate. Ah, 20. What happens if I enter 20?
It will go to second class minimum.
Arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. Enter ABC. Number format exception. No terminates in this program. I have given two catches. No, both the catches. Both the exception it can handle. Here. See, in the previous program, what you have done, simply in the single line only, means here, okay, system.in next, single line only you are getting the input and storing inside the S1. Here what you are doing separately, creating the scanner object, then you are reading the next element in the form of string, then you are storing inside the string. Okay. Maybe I'll take one class for scanner class. Okay. Then here, number format exception comes here 3 times NFE. It is arithmetic exception. Comes to arithmetic exception 3 times A. Then mean. You can keep any number of statements inside the cache. Arithmetic exception. Number format exception. Happens here. Null pointer exception. Try begin. Null pointer exception. Catch begin. Again null pointer exception. Again null pointer exception. Flow should terminate. Flow will be terminating. But because of finally, what is finally? Finally is a block along with the try catch block. I can able to use the finally block. Now, the exception is there or not. The raised exception got handled or not. Once the control enters the try block, definitely, compulsory, finally block will execute. Whether exception is there or not, whether exception, raised exception got handled or not, once control enters the try block, definitely, finally block will execute.
The program will not terminate abnormal question.
It will terminate. First it will execute the finally block, then it will terminate. Now, what are all the combinations? Now you know what is finally. Finally is a block. We'll be using in the exception handling concept. Okay. Now, what are all the combinations? Along with the try, I can use the finally. Try and finally. But try alone not possible. Catch alone not possible. Along with the try catch, I can keep the finally. Along with the try with the so many catches, at last I can keep the finally. But finally alone not possible. Try and finally possible. Catch finally not possible.
So what is the purpose if we are not using any catch block while using try block? If we are using try block and finally block, we are not handling the exception. What's the use of using try block also?
See, here, why we are using the finally block in the sense, even though we are not handling it, some things compulsory has to execute. Okay, compulsory has to execute. Okay, that means what? Suppose you are opening a connection to the database. Okay, the try block. Now that connection must be closed. Okay, that connection must be closed. That resource must be closed. Because of some reason, exception got raised. That is not handled. Okay, but compulsory that resource has to be closed. Otherwise, segregation. That code, closing code, I will be keeping in the finally block. In case of if you want to close the resource, that means what? If compulsory, that statement has to execute. Whether exception is raising or not, a raised exception got handling or not, compulsory that statement has to execute. Once the control enters the try block, then you can use the finally block.
So finally can be used.
Yeah, of course, no issues at all. Can be. What I'm getting? Catch begin, then finally, then only program is terminating. Okay.
I know examples for check exceptions. Yeah, you know, give me any examples for check exception.
That is separate topic is there. No issues. Separate topic. In this case, what happens? What happens? Compile time error. Pakka. Pakka compile time error. Why?
Because we are not handling the exception. I think easy try block.
Easy try block. Who said, man? Observe here. Simple. This is simple. Kamala won't talk. I know. And
So main begin and finally will execute.
Who's that? Ram Kumar. Yeah. Tell me. Ram Kumar, tell me.
So main begin and finally block will execute.
What I said?
Yes, sir.
If and only if control enters the try block, then only finally. Here, control is entering the try block? No, right. Here, exception is there. Outside the try. Outside the try, exception is there. Program is abnormally terminating without executing the finally. What I said? If and only if the control enters the try, then only finally block. not getting finally.
Shaded catch.
And see what you understood. What you understood?
Finally, will not be executed, but it is handling the exception.
Why it's supposed to handle the exception? It is not in the try block, no.
It will not handle.
It will not handle.
Yes.
Right, Ara?
That is what I am asking. It will not enter the catch block also.
To handle, to enter anything, here itself we are having the exception. It won't enter to anything. Because if and only if the statement is within the try block, then only catch.
Then you can execute main end at the end and main end will be executed.
Main end what?
Main end will be executed.
Why should execute? It is exception. Exception. Abnormally terminating. Right? Exception. If you want to handle this, you should keep within the try. Then it is going to handle the catch. Finally also it will execute, then main end also. What is the use of return statement? Did I cover that? Return. In the loops and conditions you have seen. What happens in case of return?
You will not execute the rest of the program below set.
In case of return, immediately it has to return to the caller without executing further. But in this case, because of the contract with the finally, in this case, because of the contract with the finally, it should execute finally, then it will return. Main end won't execute.
Then we can try again automatic exception from catch from finally. That's
Main end won't execute. Now,
main begin one, then automatic.
main begin one arithmetic exception. Abnormally first terminating. What is the output?
Main begin, try begin, automatic exception. Catch begin from finally. Main end not.
Chaitra VK, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the output for this?
Try begin, try end.
Try begin, try end.
Yes, sir.
Pakkana,
Yes, sir.
what is happening in this case? Tell me, explain. Your exception is raising or not?
Yes, sir.
Then what it should do? It should execute try end.
No, sir.
See, you guys are better to attend offline class. I'm really seriously I'm telling. Shalini, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me the output.
Sir, catch begin catch end from final.
From the beginning, tell me the output. From the beginning. Main begin, then
Yes, sir.
try begin, then
Try end will not be printed, sir.
okay. Then after that,
It comes to catch begin, sir.
catch begin. After that,
From final.
yes. Then after that,
And then main end, sir.
we don't get main end. Why? Because here once again arithmetic exception is there, right or wrong?
Oh, yes, sir.
Once again we have the arithmetic exception to handle
Yes.
that. We are not keeping this statement within the try catch.
Yes, sir.
Flow is abnormally terminating, but because of the contact with the finally, it should execute the from finally from the finally block. Then it will terminate. What is the output? Then minute. See how many programs we have seen from finally. Main begin arithmetic exception. You understand that. Main begin arithmetic exception EX. What is the type? Right or wrong? What is the type? Class name and type will get. Then EX I'm assigning with null. Earlier EX was pointing to one arithmetic exception object. Now EX I'm reinitializing to null. Now EX will be null. End of main. What is that? In the java.lang package, we have this class. What is that? Arithmetic exception class. What is the type of the exception? Divided by 0. Class is what? Arithmetic exception. In that, what is the type? Category divided by 0. No? Hmm? When begin. That's it, sir. Main begin.
No, so main begin, then try begin, then arithmetic exception, then finally. Yeah.
Observe here. In case of return, what happens? Immediately it has to return to the caller without executing the further statement. Simply main begin. If block is returning true, right or wrong? It is going inside, executing return. It should immediately return to the caller. Where is the caller? Main method. Main method. Without executing further statement. That's it, right? Only main begin. In case of system.exit, even though finally is there, finally won't be executed. Why? Because system.exit it is some kind of emergency exit. Okay, emergency exit. If it is system.exit without executing anything, directly it will come out. It is like a emergency exit. Emergency exit. This argument can be any int number, not only 0. This any number. This argument can be any number. Code, exit code. Exit code. So this can be any int number. Usually will give 0 without executing anything. Main begin, try begin. That's it. Comes out of the program. Main begin, try begin, arithmetic exception. From catch begin, exit. That's it. It won't execute finally. What? Main begin, try begin. Arithmetic exception is raising. Finally is there from final. To handle that exception, there is no catch. Flow is abnormally terminating, but before terminating, it should execute from final. What are the possible combinations? These are all the possible combinations. Try catch is possible. Try catch finally is possible. Try with so many catches. Try with so many catches, then finally block. Or try with finally catch. Error. Error. Compilation success.
Compilation is success.
Why success?
Syntactically it is correct. Syntactically it is correct.
It is correct. If I assume that this is the This is test method. Somewhere I'll be giving the call to this test method. When I'm calling this test method, I should pass one boolean value, right or wrong? If I pass true, what happens? Huh? If I pass true, what happens? If I pass false, what happens? If I pass false, what happens? Nothing happens. I'm sorry there. In both the cases, either you pass true or false. Int test is getting the return value 10. The rule here it is, this test method should get the return value. Why? Because this test is declared with int. Compulsory it should get the return value. You get the return value. No issues. Compilation success. What happens? Okay. No issues. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರಚನಾ? Success. Think no. If I pass true, what happens? If I pass false, what happens? If I pass true while calling the test method, if I pass true, what happens? It is getting the return value. If I pass false, what happens? If I pass false, what happens? If I pass false, if block won't be executed, right or not? If block won't be executed, then this test method is not getting the return value, right or not? Compilation. It's in return state.
We didn't pass it.
We didn't pass, but I might pass. But it should be syntactically proper. Here,
No problems.
compilation success or not?
Compilation is success.
In both the cases. If you pass true, return 10. If you pass false, this won't be executed. Return 20 will execute. Now, int test is getting the return value. Compilation proper.
Compilation proper.
If it is true, return 10. If it is false, return 20. Error. Error.
If true, there is no
True, no return.
It will return 10, sir.
If it is true, else won't be executed.
Yes, sir.
Then return 10 will execute. Then this test will be getting the value.
Compilation.
If I pass false, else will be executing. Return 20 will execute.
Yes, sir.
If it is true, return 10.
20.
If it is false, return 10.
Return 10.
it is false, there is no return value. Success. Okay. If it is true, return. If it is false, return. Then what is the bloody usage of this return 30? Huh? If it is not executing, what is the necessity of keeping that? Unreachable. This return 30 will be unreachable. It will never execute. It will never execute. If it is never executing, what is the necessity of keeping that? Unreachable statement, return 30, comparison error. Compilation success in both the cases. Whatever the examples I have given, that is related to this. Now, assume that in the try block, arithmetic exception is there. In the catch block, we are handling it. Now, return 10 will execute. Assume that in the try block, there is no arithmetic exception. Still, test method is getting the return value 10. Compilation success. In the try block, arithmetic exception is there. Okay. Coming to the catch block, flow is normal, returning 10. In case in the try block, there is no exception. In the try block, there is no exception. Then return 100.
What about return 10?
If there is an exception, arithmetic exception, return 10.
So it is reachable.
What I'm saying, if arithmetic exception is there, before executing this return 100, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Then straight away, without executing this return 100, it should come to the catch. Then flow is normal, coming out of the catch, return 10. There is an exception, arithmetic exception, return 100. There is no exception, return 10.
Yes, sir.
Compilation success.
There is no exception. There will be no not close the question. There is no exception.
There is no exception. Test method is not getting the return value. Compilation error. There is an exception. Where is the return value?
No. Error.
There is an exception. There is no return value.
If there is no exception, return value is there.
There is an exception. If there is an exception. If there is an exception, there is no return value. Return statement must be the end statement in the current block. Possible.
Return 20 is unreachable.
There is an exception, return 10. Sorry, 20. There is no exception, return 10. What is the usage of 30? Return 30, unreachable.
If there is exception, both exceptions, arithmetic and multiplication.
If there is a arithmetic exception, return 2. There is a null pointer exception, return 3. If there is no exception, return 1. Then what is the bloody usage of this system.println done? Unreachable. Better.
Must be the last one.
What?
Return statement should be the last statement.
No, that is what I'm kept to know everywhere. Return as the last. So this statement is unreachable. The comparison problem. Understood? Proper. Proper. Understood? Return 200 is unreachable. Okay? Return 200 is unreachable.
Not proper.
Why?
Because if we enter the drive, finally will be executed and that will be the last return code. If we
That's not the case. Like if the exception is not handled, finally will execute
finally execute and return will not be executed.
and it will end the program.
Like if exception is not handled, like finally will be executed at the last and return 100 will not be executed.
Don't assume that. Here arithmetic exception is there. Only assume that arithmetic exception only raised. Not other. Only arithmetic exception. Only arithmetic exception. What happens?
It doesn't say what.
No sir, we will compile.
There is arithmetic exception. Catch will execute. While will also execute. Return 100 also will execute. Because raised exception is handling or not?
Yes, sir, handling.
Flow is not. Now, if there is no exception, cache won't be executed. Finally will execute. Finally will execute. Cache won't execute. Finally will execute. Then return 100.
It will terminate also.
There is no exception. Is that so?
That's the case that we were not getting maintained also in the previous case.
No, if there is no exception, it will be there finally.
Okay.
Exception is not handled, then it will be.
If there is no exception, cache won't execute. Finally, will execute. Flow is normal. There is no exception, right? There is no necessity of terminating the program normally. Front of leave, there is an exception that is not handling. There is an exception that is not handling. File will execute, then it will terminate.
Possible if there is an exception, return 0.
There is exception, return 1.
If there is no exception, return 0.
Return 0.
Return 0. If there is an exception, arithmetic exception, return. Then this return 200 will execute.
Unreachable.
The exception is not. And there is no exception.
If there is no exception, what happens? Return 0. If there is no exception, return 0. Right? If there is no exception, return 0. If there is arithmetic exception, return 1. In both the cases, finally will execute. But return 200 is unreachable. Return 200 is unreachable.
So in R.Java also return 200 is unreachable when it is showing. In R.Java.
R.Java. Same, right?
Same error is
R and
R to
W.
it is showing the error in the command window. Command.
R it is showing error.
Command terms. In command. It is showing error for Q. Return 200. Unreachable should.
Q. Okay. Then?
Okay. Okay, yes.
We have seen this already. In the R only we have seen. Proper or not? Proper. See, who did not reply? Is that Gagandeep? Are you there, Gagandeep?
Yes, sir.
Why you left the meetings? Why you left the class when I started to ask the question?
Sir, at beginning, sir, at beginning of the class, sir.
Maybe in the not like when yeah, in the beginning.
Sir, like it was not proper,
What?
sir.
Problem.
No. Yes, sir.
What problem?
Sir, like uh, call came, sir, so it got disconnected.
Okay. What about Kamala? Kamala, are you there? Kamala, mute yourself. Gagandi,
Yes,
Kamala,
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
present, huh?
Yes, sir. Starting, I came at 2:20, I think, sir. Your voice is not audible to me, sir.
My voice is not audible, huh?
Yeah, sir.
Why is that so?
Maybe network issue or low voice speech.
Anybody is facing the same issue? You should inform me. Anybody is facing the same issue?
yes, sir. Same issues.
Who is that? Sam Kumara?
Sir, Channappa, sir.
Channappa. Oh, you also not attended, replied. Yeah. So it might be two issues. One from my side, another from your side. In your side, what happens? If you are using mobile, no, call comes or some data is over, then what happens? Internet speed will low, connection will last. From my side, what happens? If internet is low, connection will get lost. In my case, I'm using the Wi-Fi itself. There is no chance of uh, internet connection losing. You don't lose the internet connection. So before the class, make sure that you have the sufficient data. Okay, if you are using mobile, my suggestion is better to use any Wi-Fi. Otherwise, keep your mobile in what? If you are keeping in airplane mode, what happens? Wi-Fi won't come. Okay, but you can actually, if you are keeping in airplane mode, and if you are opening the hotspot, is it whether it works?
No, sir.
No, sir, it is not working.
It will work.
No,
Wi-Fi
sir.
will work, but I don't know about hotspot. Okay, you can keep your mobile in airplane mode. Wi-Fi will work, and also hotspot also will work. It seems. Means what? First keep the airplane mode. Everything will be locked. Now open the Wi-Fi and open the hotspot. Did you check? Okay, whatever it is, make sure that there won't be any problem. If any problem from my side, inform me immediately. Till now, we have discussed unchecked type of exceptions. Now we'll discuss checked type of exception. What are unchecked type of exceptions? Whichever the exceptions that are coming under error type and runtime exception type, those are unchecked. What are checked? Which are coming under exception type except runtime exception. Those are checked type. what kind of exception? Arithmetic exception is what kind? Unchecked. That means what? It is going to check at the runtime, not at the compile time. You know this already? Compilation error. No compilation error. Here only we are using the G. Anywhere you can use the exception. I think all these are covered. 1, 2, exception, 4, exception. 1, 2, exception, 4, 10, 5, 10, 7, 8, 9. Yep.
Number format exception.
There is a number format exception. What happens? 1, number format exception, 4, 5, 6. There is a arithmetic exception. Abnormally terminating. Both the cases it happens. The seen this already. 1. If in case number format exception, 6, exception type, 7, 8. There is a arithmetic exception. What happens? 1, 2, 4. Details. Get the exception. 5. 5 will get? 5. Then 8. If there is a number format exception is handling. If there is a arithmetic exception, it is not handling. But in both the cases, finally will execute. This is also I'm keeping within the test method. I'm calling the test method, the return value of the test method I'm supplying to I. By supplying what? S1. Now, if it is a number, okay, it is converting it to int, storing inside I, returning I. If it is a number format exception, cache flow. Finally, we will execute in both the cases. But here, one more thing. If it is number format exception, what happens? Return 0. There is no number format exception. Straight away it is coming to what? Return 10,000. there is no number format exception. What happens? Return I is there. What is return I? Some number. But it won't take that number because of the contract with the finally. It is also execute finally return 10,000 data run.
So return I will take 0.
Assume that's correct. See, if there is a number format exception, what happens? Return 0. That is only I'm printing here. Okay. Return value of the test method I'm printing. Storing to I, printing the I. Completing 1000. That means what? There is a number format exception that is handled, returning 0. But finally will also execute because of the contract. That is overriding 0 with 1000. Okay, if there is no exception, it's supposed to return that number. Better. There is no exception. Assume here. There is no exception. It's supposed to return 10 only, but it will return 1000. Why? Because it will execute finally also. There is exception or not? There is no exception. Finally also will execute once the control enters the try. Finally will execute. It's supposed to return 10 only, but it is returning 1000. Why? Because it is executing the finally. So remaining are take it as assignment. Okay, in this folder, remaining are assignment. Next we will start with second type of exception. Vinay, Arshita, Chaitra,
Present, sir.
Basuraj, Adesha, Kiran, Syed Afsar Pasha, Channappa, Purti, Kirtana,
Sir, Channappa present, sir.
Ishita Prakash. Okay, Ishita Prakash, Mohammad Sufyan.
Sir, Channappa present, sir.
Okay, Chandan,
Yes, sir.
Nandish Babu,
Yes, sir.
Ram Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Rakshit Kumar, Rakshit Kumar, Anil Kumar, Akshit Garg, Vaishnavi Egde, Preetam BR, Gagandeep,
Yes, sir.
Salma Taj,
Present, sir.
Tarun Singh, Abhishek Singh, Gagan,
Yes, sir.
Ahmad Omar Qasim, Deep KSH, Shruti R, Chandana M, Yamuna M, Harish D, Chetan M, Shalini, Kamala,
Present, sir.
Yashaswini,
Present, sir.
Kamala present, sir.
Samel Zuma, Samel Zuma, Shreya S, Shreya S. Okay, guys, thank you. We'll continue in the
Chenappa
next
present,
class.
sir.
Sir, you
Sir,
didn't call my name.
Darshan S.
Darshan. Last, down, sir. Down. Ah.
Vinay sir. Hello.
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಗುರು ಹೋದ್ರು.
ನೀನು ಹೋಗ ರಾಮಾರು, ನೀನ್
ಏ
ಯಾಕೆ
ಹೋಗೋ ಗೊಂಬೆ.